into the parking lot, parked it, zipped up my parka, joined the procession of marchers. In my head, like, is this awkward? Should I even be here marching? Thinking that they can't, how can I breathe?
That's enough forever. That was White Privilege 2 by Macklemore, his latest on the scene that talks about how horrible we are. And he puts it on himself, yo. It's called White Privilege 2, and he seems to have two major problems with his career. One is, should I be marching with these people? Should I be part of Black Lives Matter? I'm white. I'm part of the problem, yo. And two, what about, should I even be rapping? I'm stealing music here. This is terrible. Let's start with one. Yes, Macklemore, you're right. You don't belong at that march. Did you notice the chanting that was going on? Did it sound very 50s-ish, very 60s-ish, very civil rightsy? That's because that's when the last time that march made any sense. Not only should Macklemore not be there, no one should be there. What are you marching for? You want the right to vote? Look, you want to talk about a real problem in America? It's called black-on-black violence. Those marches are about cops shooting people for sport. That thing doesn't exist. Young black men are shooting young black men for sport, but no one wants to march for that. They want to march for false narratives. You want to know a real march? The Freedom Riders, okay? That was in the 60s when they would bust to segregated areas and get the crap kicked out of them. That was brave. And do you know how many of those white people on those marches? And by the way, look at the wanted ads. Look at the arrest records here. They're about half white. And do you think black people were saying, yo, I don't think you should be here? And white people were going over it. Do I belong at this thing? No. Psh, psh, psh. When you're going into a fist fight, people want you. And when it's a real fight that really matters, people don't get into the nuances of, should I be here? I'm not sure. Look, we're done complaining. We're done with racism. We're done with questioning everything. It's the year of culpability now, folks. If you're not in the NBA, it's because you look like George Costanza. It's because you're short and fat. We're not well represented there. I know blacks seem to be doing badly. I know a lot of them are in jail. But just because your group is doing badly doesn't mean it's someone else's fault. And just because you're doing well doesn't mean you cheated. I mean, Asians are doing way better than whites and blacks in about every metric you could possibly measure but basketball. No one talks about Asian privilege because that doesn't fit the narrative. Which brings us to Macklemore problem 2. Should he be doing this music? He feels guilty about his success. I personally believe that his success is based on this part of this song.
Y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on Shark Week. Raw, time to go off, gone. Deuces goodbye. I got a world to...
That brrr, everyone went, whoa. By the way, we invented Shark Week. That's Shark Week is us. Blacks are petrified of sharks. But what happens in pop music and, you know, general media success in general? Boom, you get a hit, which he earned doing mixtapes since 2000. You pry it open, and then you just shove content in. And if you can get some more stuff in, a few more hits, boom, you're set for life. That's why he's successful. He didn't cheat, okay? And the fact that he's white didn't help him. White kids prefer black pop stars. 12% of America is black, and they are wildly, disproportionately represented in music, in films, in TV, all other fun stuff that Jada Pinkett Smith didn't Google. And there's this I'm sick of hearing about how we stole rock and roll and black people worked hard making music and then Elvis came along and said, I'll take that. Music is much more amorphous. It's been this constantly evolving amalgamation of different cultures. I believe that rock and roll comes from angry slaves pounding drums and angry white slaves bashing guitars. And you have the combination of rhythm and blues and this sort of drunk irreverence we got from the Irish. And we hear about how Chuck Berry only got a Cadillac for inventing rock and roll. That was a deal back then. You know, they sat in the studio going, flap your arms like a duck, the peanut duck, yeah. Do 50 songs that day, you get money, whites and blacks. That was the deal. We hadn't figured out royalties back then. Sorry. And even today, we talk about how, white people are appropriating rap. Black people are appropriating rap. Look at the samples. Black girls today think that Janet Jackson is the one saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone. That's not her. Almost all samples that are popular today come from classic rock stars of the 70s and 80s, and we don't mind. And by the way, you know who's behind the scenes making these records? Let's take this guy, for example. This is why Public Enemy sounds so awesome. This is why Tribe Called Quest sounds so awesome. Nerds. They're pretty complex machines. It's a nerdy affair. The guys behind rap music look like they play Dungeons and Dragons, and the people consuming rap music look like me. But there is something going on here that is an appropriation that rap people are not happy about, and that is Macklemore's love of homosexuality. Again, doesn't fit the narrative. But Macklemore, if you want to know why black people and rappers are unhappy with you, it's because you're pro-gay. And that's not very popular in rap music. As Big Daddy Kane said, Big Daddy Kane is anti-faggot. That means no homosexuality. And one of Macklemore's biggest critics, of course, is Lord Jamar from the band Brand Nubian. He's also a very successful actor. And he says that rap today pushes the gay agenda. He says he doesn't like that rap is gay-friendly. And he says, to me, when people like Macklemore come out with songs like that, I know he loves hip-hop and all that, but he's trying to push an agenda that him as a white man feels is acceptable. And I love when this happens, by the way, with liberals. They start wiggering it up and trying to be part of black culture, and then that part of black culture ends up being anti-gay, like with Prop 8 in California. They said, who the hell is responsible for stopping this gay marriage bill? And then they found out it was blacks, and they went, oh. I was talking about this whole thing with comedian Nick Mullen, and he said, Macklemore is guilty of appropriation. He's appropriating guilt. He doesn't really feel guilty about all this. He is not really questioning his involvement. He just knows that that sells, that whites naturally feel terrible about everything. So he'll make a song where he says, I'll put on my parka. Should I even be here? Should I even be marching? Black Lives Matter, but there's no we. I'm almost as good of a rapper as he is. But yeah, he's appropriating white guilt. And that's why I've had enough of all this. 2016 is the year of culpability. There's no more complaining, especially about race. If you're successful doing something that very few people can do, congratulations, you earned it. If you failed and you're getting discouraged, get your shit together. You have nobody to blame but yourself.